Alright guys, we're going to have a look at the Smith machine hip thrust and some of the different variations that we might look at. So like with all form of bench supported bridge variations, we have to look at those setup considerations. So as you'll see with M shoulders here, we're looking at the alignment of this. We're looking at the bottom of the shoulder blade roughly, or around about the bottom of that armpit, or kind of where the lat, kind of the bulky part of the lat starts to end. That's roughly where we want the shoulders to be sitting over that edge of the bench. And she's not going to slide up the bench, she's not going to like kind of roll down the bench or anything like that. We want to make sure that once that position is locked in place, that acts as a pivot point to move the torso around. So once she's got that locked in, we're also going to make sure that before she takes the bar out of the rack here, she's going to make sure that the rib cage is pulling down towards the pelvis. So we're creating that can of stability, as we call it. So rib cage is in line with that pelvis, and it stays that way throughout the entirety of the movement. So she's going to breathe, brace, lock this in, take it up out the rack. Great, she's going to make sure she twists this bar around, and you have to kind of make sure you hold that away from you the whole time, otherwise these will come back onto the stoppers here. She's got that locked in. She's now going to lock this in and lower herself down slowly. She's going to go to an active range that she can control and maintain tension in the glutes, and she's going to extend to the top. Now, really important, emphasize, when you get to the top of the movement, you want to really focus on getting that full tuck of the pelvis under, almost like you're tucking the tailbone under and up towards the ceiling. Now, mistakes we want to avoid is we want to make sure that we don't overextend by going through that lower back position there. We want to make sure that, again, that is a tuck of the pelvis, the rib cage is down, and you just extend only to your active end range. Slowly down. Other thing we need to make sure as well is that we're not letting those hips drop on their own. So for example, rib cage stays but the pelvis drops. So go up to the top from here. Now even exaggerate that, keep this up here. So you'll see here that the rib flares up, so that almost that sternum staying up towards the ceiling, but the hips have dropped on their own. We don't want that. Again, both points are going to come down at the same time. And so a couple more good reps to finish. Exactly, so we're keeping that position locked in throughout the entirety of the movement, controlling these endpoints throughout the move. Now, if you rack it for a second then, if we wanted to, like with many of the other variations, if we wanted to make this more single leg biased, we can certainly do what's called a B stance variation, where she's going to take the non-working side heel, place it in line with the working side foot toes, and then she can come up into that position. And then from there, there's only enough weight on this non-working leg to support her and give her more stability, but the real focus and goal here is to get as much tension through this working side glute as possible. So she goes through a couple of reps, keeping the chin tucked throughout, rib cage staying in line with the pelvis, and really placing like at least 80-90% of her weight distribution in that working side foot.